Hey, and welcome to my second part. I'm Würfel, and today we will see how we proceed with this one. In the first part, I installed some lights, and in the meanwhile, several weeks have passed. I have put a lot of brain grease into this project, and I thought a lot about it and how to proceed with this, and I came to the conclusion that I'm not happy with this. So in general it works, but there are some minor things that I don't like, and the biggest issue for me is the placement of the LED strip. So it's on the inside, it's not visible from the outside, but it's not working as good as I hoped it could be. And yeah, so I decided to not invest more time into this and instead skip this one. So I put that aside. So this is nothing that is lost. I will do something with it. And I started a new one. In this case, I used some semi-transparent material, and here I printed the parts. I also, as you can see here, I added a second spiral. This spiral will hold the LED strips. So this is like the small tower I made. In this case, it's doubled in size and it will be glued together. I also started to work on the base. You can see on the tower that I got here. It's also the same material. It's this case here, this tray here, and I want to have this appearance and double the size. So the second part is now at the printer, so I have this finished tomorrow. I also included a groove all around here to hold some LEDs. My biggest concern so far, when I glue the second piece on, the surface area is very small. It might not be the toughest solution for this, but I'm very happy I can add a wooden plate or something like that to the bottom, so the whole thing will become much sturdier. Also, the big hole here is to hold all the cable stuff with a hole on the back side, so your cable will go out on that side. But for now, I thought this is a good opportunity not to start like this one and glue it all together, so I can show you how I managed to bring these together. I got these chunky keys here. They have a little bit of tolerances, and with the scaling the tolerance is bigger, so I got a little bit of room to move them. But if I want to glue them together, I want to make sure they are nice and in the position I want them. I will start by gluing this and this, and I will need the bottom base to hold them together. So, and I will need some of my steering sticks, and I will attach them to this piece so they can work in 3 positions as a guide and help me align it collinear, that these 2 pieces don't have any shifts in it. So, and we will quickly do that. So now this slides over here and holds it into place. and this will hopefully guide this one. So I just need to make sure to get the rotation correct, and for that I just have to check how this transition is moving. Good. So now we are already at the point of gluing this. I just use some CA glue, and I also make sure not to come too close to the edges. I don't want to have any of that stuff spill out. So this just needs to stay together. Add a little bit more here to the key. And that's it for this side. So let's make sure that's a nice transition here. And apply a little bit of force. Yeah, that method with the sticks as guides worked better than expected. So I let that dry. So it's the next morning and my parts are printed. This one you saw, that's the second part. And now we need to bring them together. And for that I got some stuff set up here. This is just some 150 grit sandpaper, because I want to make sure that this surface here is absolutely flat. I don't need to fully grind this down or sand it down. I just want to give it a few passes just to remove some divots and uneven spots and get it a nice surface for the glue to grip on. You also see I got this plate on here. It's a piece of my workbench that was left over, and yeah, it makes sure it's pretty flat, nothing is dangling on here. You see on the table here, this is wobbling a little bit. I put some felt underneath, but I don't want to glue these together on the regular table. For this I invested in some branded glue stuff. It's like super glue, but I hope this really grabs on the material instead of the cheap stuff that I use regularly. I also got some baking paper here. I want the pieces to sit flat, but I also want to prevent them from sticking to the board. And I got these blocks. These are machinery parts, so they are very precise, straight, and they will help align these pieces. So normally I just take the cheap stuff, because for minor repairs it's totally okay, but in this case it's a very structural part and I want to make sure everything is nice and tight. Also we need to clean the surface we want to glue. I got some denatured alcohol. And I will take some of this tape to secure everything. So let's see. We definitely use the big surface here in the middle. Also this stuff has a little bit more working time, and it's more like a gel. So I make sure I press it down. Use the blocks to keep everything aligned. So nothing comes out of the top, that's good. So now I give it a squeeze for a moment. Take some tape, attach it to one side, give it a little bit of tension. And we go on the other side and do the same. And yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, I see there's a small gap here. Maybe I take my 3D pen and fill this gap here with a 3D pen, but so far I'm not sure. Maybe I need to mount all this on a thicker wooden plate to give it the stability it needs to work and not tilt over. So far I need to test this. And we have a little time shift here. The tower's already done. I screwed it up a little bit. Everything went nice and smoothly until I started to get the LED strips inserted, and it was a little bit struggling. So about an hour or so I was tinkering around with how to feed the pieces through this, and the friction on the inside is just too much, so it doesn't move smoothly through the slot. Even the slot is much bigger than the LED needs as space, but the friction and the surface texture makes it nearly impossible to get it farther than half the tower. So maybe next time I consider pulling something through the tower while I glue it together. In the end I used some filament and feeded the filament through this. It was stiff enough to get through the complete funnel section to the bottom. Then I glued the LED strip to it and pulled it through. But the whole thing took quite some time, and after an hour I didn't have anything done, so it took me roughly 2 hours to find a proper solution. I took a lot of different things to try to feed through this, and yeah, after half an hour my phone stopped recording, as this is the maximum size it can hold, and I forgot to get this thing running again. So I completed the whole thing without the camera because I was so frustrated and so deep into the whole project that I totally forgot the camera the whole time. But the guy is done, and I can show you it works perfectly. I'm very happy. The LEDs could be a little bit brighter, so maybe I need to check on different brands, but this is really great. Also, it still holds the huge guy, and yeah, for the stability I also glued the tower onto the tray. So let me show you how that looks at the bottom. You see I put the LED strips here in that section. I taped the leftover stuff at the bottom here, and then I took advantage of my 3D pen over there and put in the same filament that I used to print the tower, And you can see I bridged this section. I added some small tabs over here and all the way around to stabilize the thing, to make sure the strips won't fall out. And I also used it to, you can see here, to weld in the tower from the bottom part. So at the top everything's nice and clean. There's some super glue all around this this surface on the inside here and at the contact surface, but this really enforces the whole thing. And I add several of these all around, and this makes this a very, very sturdy piece. I also did a huge connection here where the two parts are glued together to enforce that. And I can tell you, for this is a much better solution than this guy previously made. But I took advantage of the pen also on this one. I cleaned everything up, closed the gap, made an entrance for the cable, so this one's nice and can be used now. Yeah, that's so far from this project. I'm very happy, and I can tell you as a little teaser at this point, Phil over at All Rolled Up contacted me. She really loves the design of my tower, and she also has one of my towers, and she would love to get them in her shop. So we are wiggling around what we can do to get this thing and this project running. But of course, all the designs will still be available for free to download. It's just the opportunity for those people who are not able to get those parts printed, so they can directly grab a printed tower at the booth or at the shop. But at the moment this is all in planning, so I can't guarantee anything, but for me it's very exciting to see how this project grows. And I will do a second one of these in red for All Rolled Up, so I will definitely do some quick shots of a red version, and we'll bring that up on Instagram and co, so you can follow me there and see how the project's running out. So thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you on the next project. Bye!